when it broke, but your boy Antonio Brown has officially been released by the New England Patriots.
Already? He just got there yesterday and played one game Sunday.
Well, as
we got to do
reported,
with that case?
as reported, it doesn't. Yes and no, and the reason why I say that is this. So we'll go ahead and lay it on out. Antonio Brown had been accused by
Damn.
Right? That's civil. It was a civil, no criminal charges. Well, since then, there's this woman that's an artist that came to his house to paint a mural in his house.
Right.
And she's alleging that he had did some inappropriate things there. Wow. And came on to her. And so now what has made it legit is the fact that she did a story with a popular magazine, and that magazine just released a story last week. So the timing of that story being released, it now looks like it's attached, but it's really not. It's two separate incidents. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so, if you remember, the Patriots had already vetted the trainer situation.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
The NFL had already vetted the trainer situation. They still let him play. They chose not to put him on the exempt list.
Right.
Right? Now, turn around to this situation. The damning evidence is this. They have messages. This dude, Antonio Brown, has put a group text together of his cronies and the broad, who's the victim, or the alleged victim,
right?
Basically telling his team, hey, man, get the dirt on this broad. I can't believe she went and did this interview. I can't believe she did this. We're going to ruin her. Whatever was in those text messages was damning enough because she went and met with the NFL on Thursday.
What? Oh, man.
That was yesterday.
Yeah.
The Patriots made the decision because they had a $9 million decision to make.
Right.
As of Monday morning, if he was
money
on a roster, they would have had to pay him $9 million.
Right. The
Now, with this being the second accuser, within the amount of this time, come on. So they cut him. Now this dude went from making in March of this year, he was due to make $30 million.
$30 million with the Raiders.
But because he missed 85% of
and 21 was that guaranteed, right?
27.
27 of that was guaranteed.
But because he missed 85% of his preseason training, it was all front-loaded in a bonus. And his bonus was not going to be honored because one of the escalators is if you miss 85% of practice, we're not going to pay you this amount of money.
Wow.
Okay?
Wow.
So that's where some of the friction came in. That's why he wanted to be released up out of there. You got to realize when this dude is sitting here on social media talking about he doesn't want to conform to a system that's been failing him this whole time, you go from the Oakland Raiders to who was just win, baby, by any means, to the system of all fucking systems.
Right.
Where you got Kraft, who has just been alleged with a prostitute, okay? But nobody remembers that because he made that go away. Right? Am I tripping?
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
Then you bring in all these other guys who've had these issues, but when they got to New England, all they did was produce. So if you saw some of the interviews leading up to when they made the acquisition of Antonio Brown, Bill Belichick basically said, hey, man, y'all said the same thing about Randy Moss. Right. Y'all said the same thing about T.O. Y'all said the same thing about all these other players.
Well, I can already tell you where AB is going to end up at. Because,
hopefully
Jerry Jones is notorious for taking in.
Can't have it like that. Because this is the reason being. Jerry Jones has a couple of decisions to make. You still got to pay Dak Prescott. You still got to pay Amari Cooper if you're going to keep him. Nobody's talking to you. Nobody's talking to you. Nobody's talking to you. Nobody can hear you. I got a bunch of text messages last week about people saying that they can't hear you in the background. Dr. Hayden Nathan, you always welcome to grab a seat. Damn. So, I mean, you got to make a decision. Do you want to have AB or do you want to have Amari Cooper?
I mean, you can keep Amari Cooper, but you can get rid of some of those fourth and fifth, receivers that you got up in there.
Because you're not going to sign Antonio Brown to a multi-year deal. Right now, Antonio Brown's looking for a deal for this year. So more than likely,
with all this baggage going on, he gonna have to come back in and show somebody again. He worth it. Just like he went down from leaving the Raiders down to New England, he gonna have to come down to a second-year player.
All I'm saying is, man, when we got brand new quarterbacks starting this week, the New York Giants,
talking about the trash now. We've been talking about the trash.
and he needs a New York market. I'm telling you, he's gonna have to go somewhere where he can get marketing dollars off the field because nobody's gonna sign him to a big deal this year.
Is anybody talking to him? Is anybody looking at him? Is anybody showing any interest in him?
At the end of the day, he's still one of the best on the field. At the end of the day,
I guess you can say that because he's a 2-time champion and he's been to the Pro Bowl several times. He's an MVP.
Anybody in the league, and he's one of the best route runners, and he produces. I'm not hating at all. I'm just saying my comments last time about the situation was I blame the handlers, and I specifically said, how do you let this dude put shit like this in text, documenting the situation? Why do you put the broad? That's my question. Why do you create a group text and you're sending orders to your partners? Hey man, you go get some dirt on this broad because she went and did this. Why do you put her in that message? Feel free to call in 469-759-7797. Call in the man lounge. Let us know how you feel about the Antonio Brown situation or any situation on the field.
Did one of his boys give up the group text?
No, the chick went and did the interview, and then when she did the interview, he went and sent these text messages.
That's what I'm saying.
But now she done met with the NFL. The NFL is investigating the accusations.
But the group text messages.
She took it to the NFL and said, look, I'm not
She was
lying.
a part of the group text?
Yes, that's what I'm telling you.
Why the fuck? Oh, shit.
Just dumb.
This is just a dumb.
Just dumb.
Okay. All right, well, he'll just be out there. He'll really be frustrated if he goes to the Giants, though, because, I mean, you know, the Giants ain't got a quarterback that can get him the ball. They ain't got a line that can block him. But once again, the Giants don't have a quarterback that can get him a block. They don't have a quarterback that's going to be able to get him the ball.
Hey.
You know what I'm saying?
So, hey, but Antonio Brown, man, just play football like John Gruden told you, bro. Just fucking play football, man. I don't understand how you go from $30 million to now you're about to make $158,000. If nobody else gives you another contract, you making $158,933.
But ain't league medium
nope.
League minimum $400?
What happens is they prorate his contract, and it says in the contract you got to make it to this date to get this bonus. So he had to make it the fucking Monday morning to get the $9 million signing bonus. So, and you remember the whole helmet situation?
Yeah.
That company, Zenith, whatever the name of the company is, has ended their relationship with him. So he did all that to get an endorsement deal, and they cut it short. Yeah. It was never about him in that damn helmet, and that's what D-Rod was trying to tell us.
About that money.
It was about him getting that deal off the field. Well, now he done fucked it off again. So.
But you know what? That's what happens. And it seems like wide receivers are the ones who generally, because I'm thinking about other wide receivers who have had like just crazy issues, and their careers were nowhere nearly over. Like I think Chad Ochocinco could have played several more years, but all his antics, I think, ended his career short. Never really been a big fan of T.O. But everybody was all high up on him and everything, and I'm like, yeah, whatever, man.
Well, just in other news and sports real quick, my Giants will be starting Daniel Jones this week. The NFL actually banned pyrotechnics for pregame on the field. I don't know if you saw, but in Nissan Stadium, I don't know where that.
I thought that was a barbecue grill they caught on fire, but
that was a canister that blew up and fucking fried the whole field. So now the NFL has banned that. And then last night, shout out to my New York Yankees. We clinched the AL East for the first time since 2012. It's been a 6-year drought since we clinched, but congratulations to those.
Don't they
boys.
come to town soon?
They'll be here the 25th, 26th, 27th, that weekend of September. This is the first time in history that a manager in his first 2 seasons has won 200 games. Okay. So we won 100 games last night. We got 8 games left in the season. And then also in international sports, FIBA.
I see you got off those Giants real quick.
Ain't no need to hang on to losers. Just bet the don't. Just bet the don't on them. They ain't gonna win. I'm telling you. I'm still. Hey, I
don't
still
hit the pass.
Blue. I'm still big blue, baby. But
I see we moved off that real quick.
We moved on that shit, bro. But in FIBA, we played 7th, worst in program history. Everybody knows the narrative around that. Stephen Curry is actually already spoke up, said he's going to play in the Olympics. So.
This is the NBA team that's starting to lose in these.
Yeah, but you know, it's about the timing and the schedule. FIBA's not as good as when it comes to
the Olympics and
when it comes to the Olympics.
Yeah.
everybody wants America to dominate, and unfortunately, the rest of the world is caught up, and we got to make sure that we send our best out there.
But you know what? That's what they said. But when did they start sending the NBA teams to the Olympics? That's what they said. The same thing they said when college teams started losing and didn't win the gold medal.
Late '80s or something.
Yeah. I was like,
because we was riding the highway when we beat the Russians in the hockey game in the '80s.
Yeah,
we're gonna take basketball too. We're gonna free these ninjas and let them play basketball. Hey man, let's play a quick game of Today in History. So today in history, 1973, Battle of Sexes. I know you know this. Billie Jean King.
Okay.
That's like the official start
of
the Me Too
female
movement,
tennis.
Yeah,
one of the most dominant female.
Yeah. So that legendary match happened. I found this one interesting. 1984. It was the premiere of the Cosby Show, bro, on NBC.
Okay, damn.
35 years later, America's dad is in prison.
I know. And you know what's interesting about that? You know, I don't know. A lot of people may not remember this, but you know, he really didn't support Lisa Bonet after the show because Lisa Bonet wanted to do a lot of adult things and go into and do shows that had her being nude and everything like that, and when that came about, you know, he was kind of disappointed in her because you know you were one of America's
sounds like Lisa Bonet said no to one of them cocktails, and she went on to do the whole thing,
and I'm like
that.
And at least what she wanted to do was